Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna try something a little different today. We're gonna do two matches in one versus only having one match per video. This way you can see the two matches side by side. So let me know what you think of that in the comment section below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the video. But going into this, we have BY Luffy going up against OP07 Vegapunk. I think Vegapunk is obviously not as powerful as Enel and Katakuri, but he can still pop off against the meta with the tools he has now, and only gonna get stronger in OP08. So let's see what Jason has in store for us with his Vegapunk build. BY Luffy starting off with a Garp, adding a Sabo to hand. Probably gonna be his whole turn here. And passing turn on to Vegapunk. Looks like he drops down a Shaka, and that's it for his turn. I'm not sure if Shaka in life turn 1 was the right play or just playing him out outright, but I think the outcome ended up being the same anyways, because BY Luffy swung into Vegapunk and gave him the free Shaka summon anyways. And so actually interesting choice here at 5 Dawn. Vegapunk decides to just pass without doing anything, forcing the BY Luffy to make a play himself if he wants to get rid of his life. And he starts off with a Kuzan and 3 brothers to search out a baby Luffy there. So swinging in 6 at life. Jason actually decides to counter out of this. I'm surprised he did it that way versus, I guess it wouldn't make too much a difference. He could have blocked and healed himself with that Quasar, but going into the 7 Dawn turn for the Vegapunk here, heals himself, putting Edison at the top of his life. Edison being a really good Vegapunk card. And Jason forgetting that Vegapunk cannot swing. So just going to heal and pass turn here. With the 2 Kuzans, it is kind of dangerous just because Kuzan and Space Luffy combo can remove anything above 8 cost, I believe. Kuzan being able to reduce something by 4. And then Space Luffy being able to pop anything under 3 or 4 cost. So looks like the BY Luffy player is just going to drop the Hiyori here, setting up his life for a future play. And then actually using it right away and putting down the Sabo, pumping his leader up to 9 thanks to the double Hiyori play, and developing a blocker on board. So I think what happened was Billy actually swung in with his leader, just forgetting to tap him down, but Vegapunk eating that swing and summoning out Edison. And the Vegapunk stage comes out. That stage is actually really useful just because Shaka being a blocker, being able to unrest every turn is very powerful because it essentially turns your leader into a 6k leader just for more defense, because Shaka will be able to swing in and also get untapped at the end of his turn. So Vega healing with the Nico Robin and playing another Shaka down, and BY Luffy answering with the 10 drop Kuzan here and popping the second Shaka. Now Kuzan is a very interesting tech choice. I really like it just because BY Luffy struggles a lot with Bonnie and decks that develop really big bodies. And Kuzan reducing everything by 5 cost means that your space Luffys will be able to pop anything 9 cost or more with Kuzan on board. So I think that's a really cool tech there. And so here Jason decides to clear board a little bit and leaving the BY Luffy at 1 life, just because he doesn't want to give him the opportunity to full combo with a Gecko if he has a Gecko in hand. But looks like a finger pistol is coming out, targeting the Yamato. Another really cool choice for him to play. I think he's playing finger pistol with the Kuzan just so he doesn't have to commit a baby Luffy in order to pop something, or a space Luffy. Just gives the deck a little more flexibility with that. So Kuzan going in 10 at life, triggering the Nico Robin and allowing Vegapunk to draw 2 here. And then Luffy going into life as well. Looks like Vegapunk now down to 0 health, looking really dangerous on his side. So I think here Jason just wants to see if he can push as much as possible, praying that the BY Luffy player is all bricked up. But as we can see from here, he does have a lot of counter to play with, and also with another Sabo blocker. Really tough to get in life here. Not sure if Jason runs any rush characters in his build, but really tough for Vegapunk to close out when the leader is not able to swing himself. So here looks like Jason just puts in a Frankie into life, passes turn, but just looking at the board state, it looks like BY Luffy has more than enough to close out here. So he pitches the Ice Age to bring back Space Luffy and Sabo to life. It looks like he has both the babies for the 9k pump. So yep, Sabo coming out. Draw 2, ditch 2. At this point, doesn't really matter what he gets rid of, just because on board he should have lethal right here, with Space Luffy being able to pop the Shaka, and then Kuzan and his leader being able to swing really heavy here. So Luffy swinging in for 8, eats 2 2k counters. He actually swings swings in, yeah. So that's just game. That's the game. But game 2, BY taking the first one. Hopefully we can see Vegapunk in action a little bit more. Seems like he wasn't able to find a lot of his larger bodies in the late game there. So seeing that BY Luffy decides to mulligan, must feel pretty good for the Vegapunk. Hopefully he's able to capitalize on BY Luffy having a suboptimal hand. But I do think Vegapunk does have a spot in the meta coming up. Right now, he actually doesn't have access to too much mid-game presence. So I think with the release of Nami in OP08, Vegapunk will be pretty strong considering the meta will slow down a bit, especially after the RP Law hits. Not sure exactly how RP Law is going to get hit, but we all know that that ban is coming. And with RP Law, I'm sure Lucci or BY is also going to get hit, depending on if Gecko gets targeted or not. But going into this match here, looks like a pretty good start for the Vegapunk side. He did find a Lilith turn 1 again, and finding stage turn 2. Being able to restand his Lilith means that he's able to secure board presence unless the BY Luffy player has another finger pistol, which he does, and swinging in 5 into lead connects, allowing Jason to summon out the Lilith here and having another search. So still pretty good spot for Vegapunk here. He's not getting pressured too much. Finger pistol is a versatile card, but it doesn't develop anything on board, so Vegapunk not feeling too pressured here. So summoning out the Edison, hard casted and healing up with the Pythagoras, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And I do see an ace in the Vegapunk's hand. I'm not too sure about that option in Vegapunk, just because it seems like you want to actually heal every turn or use your hero ability every turn. But ace being a 10 drop means that he will be your whole turn if you do play him down. So BY Luffy here just pops out a Makino so that he can rearrange his life, and actually hard casts a Space Luffy in order to pop the Edison here. But Vegapunk answers with a Nico Robin in life and hard casting another Lilith to search out the Frankie to add to his hand here. So I think this game Jason is trying to take it a little bit slower, doesn't want to swing with everything he's got just yet, and only swinging in one at a time to force the BY Luffy player to make his own plays. But he did have the opportunity to summon out the Luffy pumping it up to 8, and then using his hero ability to heal back up to 2 here. So really good play for him, but I do see that he doesn't have any geckos in hand, which might be really tough for him in the late game, just because Vegapunk does have a couple of top end himself to survive the late game. So I wonder how BY Luffy will grind out towards the end here. Vegapunk coming in to his, I believe, 9 Dawn turn, deciding to heal and then dropping the Katakuri down, forcing the BY Luffy player to have another baby Luffy. Otherwise he won't be able to get that Luffy out of life here. One thing I do want to point out is with this play, actually, if the BY Luffy player had a Gecko, that would be really bad news for the Vegapunk, just because he would be able to pump up to 9 without even using hero ability yet. But I see another Gecko being bottom decked by 3 brothers, so that must feel really bad for the BY Luffy. And the Kuzan coming down means that it's going to be a really slow turn for the BY Luffy player. Not too sure what a good play would be. I think he's just going to space Luffy, pop the Lilith. I think he didn't want to give the Pythagoras's on KO effect, and so he decided to pop the 5k body instead. Or I believe Pythagoras is actually a 5 cost maybe. So he actually couldn't have popped him even if he wanted to. So swinging in for 6 and 8 here, and then leaving 9 Dawn up means that a Yamato is coming down. Yamato actually should not. Okay, yeah. So because of the sequencing, Jason actually brought the life total down to 3 instead of preemptively dropping the Yamato to pop the Kuzan. So just a slight sequence misplay there. But he did fix it, ended up popping the Hiyori instead, just because with 3 total life you can only pop a 3 cost or less. So BY Luffy deciding what's the best course of action here. Looks like he still doesn't have a Gecko to play with, and so his turns are really awkward here, having to hard cast the baby Sabo, pumping his leader up to 7, and being able to cycle through a little bit. Luckily for him, that Sabo did find him a Gecko for next turn, so if he's able to survive, he should be in a good spot afterwards. Deciding what to pitch here. I'm not sure if it's worth keeping that Ice Age around, but he might just save it for the Ice Age finger pistol. And if he does that, then his resources are dwindling really quickly. So the Kuzan does come out, or Kuzan does swing here, lowering the Yamato down to 5, and finger pistol being able to get rid of her there. So with leader only pumped up to 7, he's going to try to swing 11 into the Katakuri, getting blocked out by the Shaka here. But it looks like that's it for the BY Luffy player. And Vegapunk starting to crack back. Going in 7 at leader, I believe. And then actually Katakuriing the Sabo. Not too sure if I agree with that play. Just because if you Katakuri the Makino or Kuzan, probably the Kuzan is the best option here. Sorry about that. The Kuzan would be really tough to get out of life for the BY Luffy player. So him having the Gecko means that he's able to combo off using the Sabo that was placed there by the Katakuri. And now his leader is going to be able to get pumped up to 9 this turn. So Space Luffy coming out, but there isn't any cost reduction, so his only target would be the Lilith here. BY Luffy still has 2 Dawn to work with. Looks like he has an Ice Age Gecko and Baby Sabo in hand, so he's probably just gonna pitch the Ice Age here to use his hero ability. I'm sorry, did I miss something? Did he pitch for his hero ability here? But he did opt to put the double Sabo back in life. And swinging in 11 at leader means that the Vegapunk gets a free Shaka out of life. So I think at this point Jason realizes that the BY Luffy is really low on resources. And so this is a really good play here where he Katakuris the Gecko back in life, which means that Luffy won't be able to full combo this turn, even with a Gecko Moria. Even with the Gecko Moria in his hand, he would only be able to pump up to 7. So yeah, at this point I think he's pretty cooked. Just dropping the Kuzan down, popping the Shaka, and then Jason just has to swing in for game now. Only 5k leader. He has more than enough to end the game here. So I hope you guys like this format. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.